Hi, I'm Charlie Dresden. Thanks for tuning in to SteamboatsMyHome.com video blog. And I'm going to talk a little bit about real estate here in Steamboat Springs. So when I come up to a house, a couple things that I look for is, one, how a home is heated. And there are three ways to heat a home as far as the energy source. First one is electric. The second one is natural gas. And the third one is propane. And to give you just an idea of the cost of those, if you take an average size small home, about 1,500 to 2,000 square feet, on the average, if you have electric baseboard heat, it's going to cost you roughly about $180 a month to heat that house in the wintertime. If you have propane, and a lot of the homes on the outside of Steamboat have propane. So if you have propane heat, it's going to cost you about $226 to heat that home on the average per month. If you have natural gas, we're looking at about $79. So obviously heating source, the energy source with natural gas is much more affordable. Electric is second, and propane is a little bit more expensive. Now I'm going to talk about the heating systems. So within a house, we have basically four ways to heat the home. The first and least efficient is electric baseboard heat. Everybody's pretty familiar with electric baseboard heat. The second way to heat a home is with a furnace, a gas-fired furnace, so either natural gas or propane. A furnace that creates hot air which blows throughout the house. The third way to heat a house, and a lot of people don't know this, is a boiler which is either fired with natural gas or propane. Now that boiler heats up water, and that water is run in hot water baseboard heat. So it looks like electric baseboard heat, but it has a copper tubing in there and the hot water runs through there. So it's much more efficient and a much more comfortable way to heat a house versus electric baseboard or forced air. Now the top way, the great way to heat a house, the best way out there at least, and the most comfortable is hot water radiant, in-floor radiant heat. So you have the same boiler either fired with natural gas or propane, which heats up water, and there's water tubes, PEX tubing in your floor or underneath your floor, and it basically heats the core of your house. It's the most comfortable and the most efficient way to heat a house. Of course, it's the most expensive, but you know, here in Steamboat, we're going for comfort. So again, when I drive up to a home, I'm looking for different things. I'm looking at different things than my client. I'm going to show you some examples of some suspect construction or maybe a home that's not very well insulated. So here's a great example. We have a metal roof, which is great, but the reality is you see the icicles that are hanging down. That tells me now we have snow on the roof, heat coming up from the roof, melting the snow, which causes the icicles. And you also see at the upper part of the roof there's no snow up there. All the snow is kind of slid to the bottom. That tells me that the insulation at the peak of that roof is probably a little warm. It's melted all the snow, and thus creating those icicles. So all those icicles is a telltale sign that maybe this home isn't insulated that well. Now here in Steamboat Springs, sometimes we get up to 450 inches of snow. You don't want to be on the top of your roof shoveling snow. You want a house that's really well built, that's going to hold the snow that we get here. This is a great example of a home that I think is well constructed. I don't see any ice dams. I don't see any big icicles. I just see beautiful, fluffy snow on top of this house. Now, icicles are cute and they're kind of cool to look at, but basically there's way too many icicles on this roof, and it tells me that something's going on here. And what icicles can happen is once the icicles are formed, the water can't pass through there and it starts backing up underneath the shingles and could possibly start having some water leaks within this house. You could also see the divots that are up by the house. You can see where the snow is being melted and thus creating the icicle. So this house, this insulation, I'm suspect to it. So if I walk up to a home and I see huge icicles all along one wall, that's telling me they have a lot of heat loss out of their roof. Or if I see fluffy snow all over the roof, that tells me a home is well built. So thanks for tuning in to SteamboatsMyHome.com video blog. Hope you learned a little bit about real estate in Steamboat Springs and construction costs and heating costs and all that stuff. See you next week.